Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 7 of the Mind and Matt podcast. Of course, I'm your host. I'm Matt234 Orion. My co-host, Nima Arian. Nima, how are you today, man?
Great, guys. Let's get right to it.
Good. It is very hot outside. It is
Oh my
93
god.
right now. It's been 100 degrees in Houston. It's been pretty much across the world, like the hottest month in June, easily, of like my lifetime. Obviously, like you can see Nima, it's like it's already light behind him. We're doing this at like 7:42, and it's so really bright behind him. So like we, obviously
Dude,
like
I can't hear you.
you can't hear me.
You just went out for a solid 10 seconds.
What?
Okay, I can hear you now. What just happened?
Oh, we'll let the restart.
That was so odd.
What?
Literally, you were like, "Oh man, it's a hot day in Houston."
What?
And then I was like, "I can't hear you." And you're like, "You can't hear me?"
The fuck? Okay. All right, we'll restart then. Ready?
Yep. Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Everyone, welcome back to the Mind and Mac podcast, episode 7. I am your host, Ian, or iMac. I am with my co-host, Nima Arian. How are you today, man?
Great, let's get to it,
Can
man.
you hear me now though? Like, can you hear
Yeah, I
me?
can hear you.
You
I
can
can
hear
hear
me.
you.
Okay, yeah, because we had to do a re-recording because you couldn't hear me for some reason for like
Ian
a
went
bit.
blank. Ian went MIA for a second.
But anyways, we have a lot to talk about this week. Obviously, Kenobi finale tonight or tomorrow. We'll talk about some NBA stuff and then possibly some zombie stuff as well. Zombies for Charity and the new map coming out tomorrow that I probably won't play because it's just a repeat of old content. But anyways, let's get into Kenobi. Episode 5. I honestly was amazing. Like I think
Yeah.
that was easily the best episode of the series. So I think
Oh, yeah.
I think I said this on the podcast, right? That we watched it together. We watched this together with you and your brother and Jared, our other friend. And I remember when we were watching it, and I'm like, oh, that's Coruscant. I remember I'm the one who pointed out
Yeah, yeah. You
first.
said that's Coruscant because I wasn't focusing. I think I was on my phone. Then I said that's Coruscant. I looked up, and we all just. I think 2 seconds later, we were just face to face with the TV.
Yeah, we all like instantly like stood up in unison, and like I couldn't believe I felt like it was gonna come
Obi-Wan
right.
and Annie, bro.
I know, dude. Like I was thinking it was gonna happen, but I just didn't think it would. You just don't like you think it's gonna happen, then when it happens, it's like holy shit, this is actually a
Crazy,
thing.
crazy. It was
Like
crazy.
what was going through your mind when it was happening?
I just knew at some point, because we kept saying flashback, 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 and you were the one that said, "Oh, there's not going to be a flashback and all this stuff." But I kept hearing about a flashback. Okay, let's see a flashback. So when the flashback happened, I just was like, "It's happening." Mike Scott's like, "It's happening." I was like, "It's happening. It's happening." And once I saw Anakin turn around, and then Obi-Wan comes in, and what he says like, "Are you ready for your lesson or whatever?" And he's like, "Are you?" And I was just like, next thing you know, after he says, "Are you?" I like look left, I look right. We're all and I look straight, and I'm 2 inches away from the TV, and all of us have formed a line. I'm like, "Whoa, what just happened?"
Oh, dude, I honestly like it. It was a surreal moment for me, and the one thing that I actually kind of liked about it is that Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor feel like they haven't aged at all. Because like obviously like you see in the shot they didn't do any de aging CGI or anything because like
I'm
obviously
fine with that.
yeah honestly I was okay with that because like they're both in their 40s now, but they like they look really good for being 45 like 45
I mean,
50.
like, it would have just looked weird. Like, yes, is it obvious that they're older? Yes, like they don't look the same,
No.
exactly the same. But dude, we got it. Just the concept of it is good enough for me, man.
Yeah, it was great for me. I just couldn't believe it, and then just that entire just throughout the episode, all those flashbacks to them training was just honestly, it was Star Wars
Yeah, it
porn.
was the best episode out of all five because it was just the whole time it was a chess match.
Yeah,
It's you're seeing them go at it. They're having that flashback. They're fighting, and then it zones in on Vader, and then or zones in from Obi-Wan, and you're like, they know they're playing a game with each other. Like, they don't care about anything else. I love how Vader. I don't remember exactly what it says, but Reva comes in and says we can get them, and it's like don't pretty much don't dilute me with what you're saying. Like I don't care. I don't care. Like, as if Obi-Wan, if it has anything to do with Obi-Wan, just take me. And like you keep seeing at one point, Anakin is, the flashback beating down on him, and it just shows Annie was winning for a bit, then Obi-Wan's winning for a bit, then Anakin, and then in the end, like you're like, oh, Anakin won. Like at the end of the day, like he was too much for Obi-Wan, and then boom, they snuck out, right? And it goes to the flashback of Obi-Wan, pretty much like disarming him and stuff, and he's just like, you want to win too bad, essentially.
Yeah. That's what it's like. Your quest for victory blinds you, or something like that.
Yeah,
And
and the music is just like so epic, and you're like, whoa, let me just wipe that tear.
but
Uh,
one of the I thought aside from the Anakin Kenobi stuff was, of course, is amazing.
yeah,
I actually thought they made Riva a much better character. Like this was, to me, like this was actually her episode in a way. Like
yeah,
in term
I think they did good with that.
yeah, like I actually like how, because it just seems weird, like when you watch the first two episodes, and that's why people get really overcritical of a show before it ends. Like that's the thing about it. Like I felt like that I was like, you gotta let the story breathe. You gotta watch all the
Yeah.
episodes for it all to make sense. Because we were like, oh, why is Reva no X, and why does Reva do this and all that stuff? And I mean, I have my own questions as well, obviously. But like,
Yeah.
there's a part of me I'm like, okay, we just gotta wait till if they don't explain it after in the end. Like if episode 6 is here and gone, and they didn't explain why Reva knew stuff, then okay, then that's open for criticism,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, yeah, facts. That's very true. But
Yeah.
this is such a side note, and I don't know if this is true, but
Mm-hmm.
there's the fight is gonna be on Mustafar again.
Oh, for episode 6, they're
Yeah,
100% having a fight in episode 6. Yeah, I
I
can see
know.
that.
They're
I,
saying it's gonna be. Oh
I
my god! If it happens like that, like,
That's a good.
oh
I mean, oh my god,
my
I
god.
won't even know what to. I won't even.
So I'd be flabbergasted. I'd be lost. I'd be lost out there. But
Yeah,
yes, Riva, I do like her character development, and I do agree.
yeah,
You have to watch. You have to confirm. You have to see. You can't just go after episode 2. Oh, she's horrible. You're like, well, you gotta wait to see the character development. It's literally 2 episodes. There's 6 episodes in this arc. So, I the only thing I had an issue with that episode was really just like Riva's still alive.
yeah. I can see that.
Because they had that epic fight. She fought Vader. Vader stabbed her, and it's like, let me not confirm the kill. Just kind of walks off, and it's like, yes, in this part of the story, she has to go get Luke or whatever. But I'm just sitting here like, dude, you bodied her. She couldn't even touch you once, and didn't even kill her. You're just
Yeah,
like, oh.
I actually do agree with that. I didn't think about that, but
It's like, just
you
kill her off.
yeah
If you put in that, kill her off.
yeah, and honestly, like if she died there, I would have been fine with that. Like like
Yeah, I mean,
you played Jedi Fallen Order. We played Jedi Fallen Order together, right? Like
yeah.
remember with Trilla, when she dies at the end. I thought, though, that's kind of what would happen with Riva. Is like Vader just be like, just complete, like, slice game. And
I don't know, dude. It was just like for how brutal he was with everybody else, he just spared her.
yeah, I mean, and that's obviously a story, or a writing thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Like,
I really don't know what do you think they're gonna do? They want to do something with Luke.
yeah, though obviously, like, they panned in on Luke the last second of the episode, but I don't know what they're gonna do with him, because the thing about it is that, like, they've talked about it. Deborah Chow has, about, not breaking canon or anything, and obviously that was talked about when the Grand Inquisitor got stabbed, who of course made a reappearance in this episode,
Yeah.
and now is, of course, alive. As if you watch Star Wars Rebels, or you would know he's obviously alive. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do, because obviously Obi-Wan. The one thing that cannot happen, and will, and if it one thing that it straight just cannot happen, Obi-Wan and Luke meeting, that cannot happen in this episode, because
It's not going to. But what
it
about
can't.
Vader?
Vader cannot meet
Yeah,
Luke.
Vader can't know either because he didn't find out
Right.
until
So
later.
those two characters cannot see Luke, or else it will, because people are saying, like, this whole show breaks continuity. I don't see that. I don't know why people are saying that, but like if that happens, then I would agree with that. They would break
They won't
continuity.
do that, dude. If they're trying to stay canon, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're gonna do with Luke if Reva is gonna capture him. That's the thing I don't understand is like I will admit that you actually you now bring up a good point. The ending of the episode is actually a kind of think about it more a bit clunky, honestly.
It's clunky. It's just like just kill her off, leave Luke out of it, and then Vader goes in. He has a Grand Inquisitor now. Like, just kill her off. Like, don't force the role. I mean, she went head to head with him.
Yeah.
If she would have like got the door closed and something happened where they got separated and she survived, fine. But not like just standing there over her and he just stabs her and then the Grand Inquisitor pretty much talks some shit to her and then they just like leave her and she's like they can't and I don't want to hear like oh well they assumed that she might have been dead. No,
Vader doesn't do that.
they don't even assume. These guys are too in tune with the Force. I mean, like he can sense. He was sensing Obi-Wan, man. He was walking down the street sensing Obi-Wan. So he found him. So it's like I don't know. I just think they kind of for such a beautiful episode that last part, and it just goes back to Reva. Reva's a great character. I like her. But if you're going to put her in that situation, you might as well just kill her off.
Yeah, and honestly, I would have been fine with that because I kind of like because originally I thought how it was gonna be was just either she was gonna be some just basic bad guy or she'll turn to the light side at the end of the show like every other kind of Star Wars character trope a bit, but she didn't do any of that. Like, and that's what I thought was really good about our characters that I guess like you can say she went to the dark side of the Force, but it was really for revenge on Vader. It was she has no intentions of being a Jedi or anything. She just has intentions of revenge, which I thought made her character super interesting. It was like all this time she's been trying to get Vader's attention. That's why she wanted Kenobi to get him out of hiding, so that she get Vader, then to kill Vader for killing all of her friends at the Jedi Temple. And it's like, oh shit, like that's actually a really good writing. Like I did not expect that to
Yeah.
be honest.
No,
And
it's
and
fantastic.
and for her to kind of survive, like if she died in that moment from just honestly, Vader was insanely badass. Like I can't even like overstate how amazing that
Yeah,
scene
no,
was.
he didn't even get touched. Like he like it was crazy what he was doing.
Yeah, he like literally takes the lightsaber apart, throws her once, like here, I'll give you a weapon, and at that point you're lost. At that point you're already dead. But
Didn't
like,
I just love how they didn't let her even land a hit. Not
yeah,
even like a pity hit. It was like, nah, this is Vader.
yeah, and then for her to just kind of survive at the end and like know that like, oh, Luke and Leia are like basically force sensitive children. Like, what is she gonna do with that information? Like, is she going to like? That's the thing I don't understand. Is like because I don't think it like there's no mention of the name Skywalker at the end of Leia and Luke. Like when was it when Bale was talking?
I genuinely don't know. I've been racing my mind over here thinking like what they could do. I genuinely don't know what you could do. Like what
Yeah,
could you possibly do?
yeah. I think honestly, just killing her off would have been the way, and I think that would have been fun. Like
The
that.
only thing I can think of is like the uncle fighting, but he's not about that action.
When he's no, he'd get clapped.
Or what's his name? Senator Organa, but
Yeah.
Senator Organa's not gonna do that.
Well, but also the thing is that those two characters can't die in the show. They can't because Bail
So they
Organa's
want
an or
to win. That's the only thing. Like Obi-Wan is not gonna meet him. Obi-Wan's like they're gonna go to Mustafar, bro.
yeah. So I'm just confused as to Luke's now sudden involvement in the show. Obviously, they had that shot of him in episode one for like 15 seconds or whatever, but it's been more of a Leia focus show, which I kind of liked. I've kind of liked so far, to be honest.
Yeah, because I
Um,
mean, like, we know Luke. Luke has had the spotlight.
yeah, wait, Luke's had the spotlight, and also like I just don't see how he can be involved in the show with A New Hope being basically Obi-Wan and Luke's adventure, and that's what I kind of thought what this was
They know
doing.
each other by then.
What?
How long? When did they meet by then?
Well, so how it was is that in episode 4, Luke talks about an old man named Ben Kenobi, and it's like clear and obvious that he's never met him before, but like he knows who he is essentially, but they've clearly like it's like
I
blatantly
love
obvious.
I have to watch A New Hope later. I think I
We
might
might
do.
have to, but like I remember specifically, it was like so blatantly obvious that they have never met before, and
Mm.
so the fact that the fact that there's maybe a possibility that they would somehow intertwine this episode, which I don't think there will be, but like
No, it's I just hope that they're gonna make it right, but it's probably just gonna be unnecessary because I don't think
yeah.
nothing. But the main focus is what it's an hour 30-minute episode.
Yeah, hour and 33-minute episode, by the way, and I I'm so glad it's an hour and 33 minutes long because these episodes have been too short for me just because I want more. Obviously, just I just want more, but it's been each of them has been like 40 to 45 minutes or so, but
Yeah,
now we're just getting this long like
dude,
movie
I'm
at the end.
very
But
excited. I'm
yeah,
very excited.
but
Like,
yeah, I think like honestly, like the more the show goes on, the less has been focused about the kids and more or Leia, excuse me, and it's more about Obi-Wan versus Vader, which to me is what it should be. But like now, obviously, as we've been talking about for the last like 15 minutes, is that now somehow Luke's involved. But again, like I don't I mean like and again like maybe we just have to go with what we said earlier, just watch the entire show and see
just
what's
have
going on.
yeah, yeah, I think that's what we have to do.
Yeah, but again, like it's just super late.
Um, no, but I think regarding Obi-Wan, that's good, but I'm just very excited. I'm sad that it's over, but it's I'm gonna have to just now rewatch the whole thing, 6 episodes
Yeah,
straight.
so yeah, I've actually it's funny. I've actually been watching the show with my parents. So I've now watched each episode, other than five, 3 times. So I've rewatched this extensively. I so far completely love the show. Um, again, like there's been a lot of talk online about how it breaks continuity. Has this show broken continuity for you? Like, I don't think for me it hasn't. Like, I don't.
Who says that? I
Oh,
mean,
it
I
just.
don't
I mean,
know.
it's Twitter stuff, obviously, but like,
I mean, no, like how would it break continuity?
no, well, I think is everyone just gets so worked up about Leia and Obi-Wan stuff, and I don't really see that, like, because I think like what her line in episode 4, A New Hope, excuse me, is that like you fought by my father, fought by my father's side in the close. God, I couldn't speak, and I guess it's like. Oh, you go said, oh, Obi-Wan, remember that time you saved me from falling down, to my, sudden death and all that stuff? And I mean, like, yeah, I guess like I guess in a way, but like to be honest, it's not like it's a line where it's open up to interpretation, right? It's like Obi-Wan and
Yeah,
Vader's line, or Vader's line to Obi-Wan, where it's like, when I left you, I was with the learner, now I'm the master. Like that line is opened up to so much interpretation that, and that's also the one thing to me actually.
of course it is. Like, why? Who? Like, think about it. Why? Why should it definitively be that when he says that's the last time is the fight with Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar?
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Like,
If they fight on Mustafar again, bro, it's the same thing. It's literally a rematch.
yeah, well, I mean, even despite the rematch, it like to me, it doesn't make any sense to when we we have Vader and Anakin, or Vader and Obi-Wan, excuse me, fight on Mustafar in episode in Revenge of the Sith. I'm gonna keep saying Revenge of the Sith so we don't get confused with episode 3 and everything. Revenge of the Sith. But Obi-Wan thinks he's dead. Like that's the thing about it. In episode 4 and New Hope, he knows that Anakin's alive. Right? We like it's
Yeah,
clear.
this has to happen. Like, so this is like where they wrote it to where this is when Obi-Wan figured out who Vader really
Right,
was.
exactly. That he's even alive
I
because
don't even I don't even pay that stuff in it like my no time because I mean anybody can say something. I always say that like it's for us to enjoy it. I mean,
yeah, that's a like yeah, and honest like that's the thing. And again,
these guys didn't have to come back and do it. You know,
right,
they didn't have
yeah,
to do it.
yeah, exactly. They didn't have to do it. To me, they've done a great job. Reva's been a good, like mainish side character, I'd say. She's been really good, and also like again, as I was gonna say, like I don't see how this breaks continuity when, to me, there's no like Obi-Wan's been in the desert for 10 years. Like he's had no outside communication with anything or anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
Like
like
I
it's
don't
like
even pay any time. Like,
how so then actually to me it actually helps continuity on how Vader or Ben Obi-Wan knows that Vader is Vader in A New Hope.
I think it's funny about that is like, the thing that's funny is like, dude, actually continue what you were saying. I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt
I
you.
mean, no, I mean, I was just gonna continue how like the show to me has helped fill more gaps and make them
Yeah.
because now we have this clear and obvious thing in place where it's like, hey, Obi-Wan knows that Anakin is alive,
Yeah.
and he knows what he looks like. Because to me, there's just no way
No, and that's what I'm
Obi-Wan
saying.
would know.
Continuity thing. It's like I don't even pay it any attention because if you actually watch Star Wars, they're not stepping on toes. I mean,
No.
they're literally saying they're staying canon. Like they literally have all the resources around them. They have more resources than all these Star Wars fans have even like thought of. Like these guys are Star Wars. These people, okay, you read some comics. I bet you haven't read as many comics as these people.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I mean, and also like, there's no
what?
way that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau would allow Deborah Chow to break canon, and I know she wouldn't either. But I'm just saying, like, they've read the script themselves. Like they told Deborah what to change and what's good and what's not. And so you're telling me that Dave Filoni, who's like the biggest Star Wars nerd out there, who makes the shows, would be like, oh yeah, that's okay, because like even though it's clear and obvious something would break continuity, there's just no way Dave would allow that.
Yeah, of
So
course not.
I don't see why people are saying it breaks any continuity when, to me, there's zero continuity being broken. It actually helps out. That actually
Yeah,
helps out helps out the entire series and basically everything along with it. And I'm seeing other things where it's like, oh, like, this isn't my canon or anything. I'm like, bro, like, I don't like the sequels
I don't know
myself, but this,
what's
like, it's still canon. Like,
I don't
it's
know what
still
side of
canon.
Twitter you go on, bro. I've never
Yeah.
seen it. I've been on Twitter. I don't see that.
Yeah, oh my God, Star Wars Twitter has been in a complete frenzy the last week, but I mean, it's Twitter, it's gonna happen, but aside from that, Kenobi been amazing. Can't wait till the last one, hour and a half long. I think we're definitely gonna see some flashbacks, gonna see some great
Are you gonna
fighting.
watch it? Are you gonna watch it when it comes out?
No, I'll wait for you guys.
All right, yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I thought.
we better be watching it tomorrow. So that's all I gotta
What are you
say.
talking about? Like we're literally already planning this. Like
Good.
what? No, no, we're gonna wait till Thursday. What is wrong with you, Ian? What is wrong
Yeah.
with you?
But
Uh,
anyways, I think that's good enough for Kenobi right now. Can't wait, as I said. I guess we'll kind of transition to NBA. Obviously, last week the Warriors beat the Celtics. We don't really have to talk about that because that's
Look,
I'm
I'm gonna just say 2 cents on it, and then we don't even have to go into
oh,
it.
okay. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's my 2 cents on it. I'm pretty just upset in general with the Celtics because it didn't look like they had even a lot of fight. Those last couple games, they just Udoka, I don't know, he didn't make any adjustments. We just kind of ISO'd the last game. Someone was texting me, oh, like, oh, Celtics look like they're gonna get it. My dad's like, oh, they're looking good because they were leading. And I watched the game, dude, and I've seen a lot of basketball. The Warriors are passing the ball 3 to 4 times every time, getting an offense. Boston comes around. They either they give it to Jason or Marcus has it, and everybody's standing still. And it's like in between the legs, Jason sidestep three. I'm like, he's not going to do that the whole game. So sure enough, literally as like the ISO ball, because nobody would move. Al Horford's like in the corner, like Marcus Smart is at the top of the key doing stupid. So
Yeah.
I think we looked for such a team that was so disciplined in every other series, and at that last run we had, we just we didn't even really put up a fight. I mean, we didn't even test them. They just played with us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It really sucked how, especially in a finals game, like it was very reminiscent of Philadelphia and Miami's ending to the series, where Miami just kind of like snuffed them out. And but that's like a second round series, like they stuff like can happen that in an early playoff round, but
Like,
in the finals,
yeah, no,
in
it can't
Game
happen.
6, that's how you go out.
Jaylen Brown is the best player on the team. You cannot change my mind about it.
Yeah,
He
he played great. Tatum
he's
to
the
me was
best player on
awful.
the team.
Tatum was awful in the
Tatum just
finals.
like the thing about Jason Tatum is he needs to move the rock. You have to play with the team. And I know maybe he wants to go for 30 every night, but it's like, dude, you're a bit streaky. He's obviously an amazing shooter in worldwide, right? Like in the
Right.
NBA.
Yeah. Yeah.
But dude, I think it's just funny. It's funny to me because people bash Houston. Oh, you guys chunked up so many threes. You guys lost. That's why you lose the Warriors. Dude, name one team that has tried to do that differently with Golden State. Literally since that series, everybody, Memphis, Dallas, Boston, you name it, bro. You name it. Anybody that plays them, they're like, oh, we'll just outshoot them. And it's
Probably
like,
only the Raptors. I'd say only the Raptors in
yeah, the
2019.
Raptors, that was a bit different because Kawhi is just not a 3-point guy. He was killing them in the midi and he was playing defense. And yeah, the Raptors, they had that formula. And honestly, they had some like go their way. KD, Clay, like,
Yeah, but like that was the only team I can think of that didn't try to put up
yeah,
40 to
I think they would
53s a
have still
game.
won. I think they would have still won in seven
Probably. Yeah,
because
but
they were so defensive oriented. But what I'm trying to get at is every other team, like Dallas, literally trying to chunk up threes. You can't win. Boston, like why are we shooting so many threes? What is Udoka saying on the sideline? Oh, good job, guys. Keep going. What are you doing? Okay, Robert is limping. He's not doing it. Pull him out. Like you got to get the guys moved. I swear to God, the coaches don't do anything, man. Like they don't run any plays. It's just like get the ball and run motion,
yeah,
right?
well, the thing about game 5 was that they were missing good 3-point shots and they started falling in the third quarter. But then they just kind of got they like even those good shots, they got away from those good even if they were a good 3-point shot, they still got away from them at the end of game 5 and they just completely
Rely
collapsed.
on it. Like go to the paint. Like Jalen Brown attacks the basket, man.
Yeah.
He attacks, but that's my 2 cents. I wish we would have fought harder. We didn't really put up a fight. It was like we didn't look disciplined. We just didn't look disciplined.
No. And
Ran out
it's
the
again
ball. We ran looked like Houston, a worse version of Houston.
yeah, it felt like just a complete
There's only a few
meltdown.
people. Yeah, complete meltdown. Only a few people
In
that
a
did well.
yeah in a finals game, game 6, where it's a must win, a pretty embarrassing way to go. I mean, there's always an embarrassing way to go out when you get blown out at home to get eliminated, but like in a like again like that stuff should only happen in like a first or second round, like not in an NBA finals.
No, it
So
was crazy. It was insane, and I just wish we would have seen us move the ball. Like, just move that to the rock, get better shots. They just kind of like, oh, we were so one dimensional.
yeah,
They would start scoring. We're like, oh no, what do we do? The
yeah,
only few players that were good were Jalen Brown, Robert Williams with his injury. Okay,
yeah.
Al Horford played well, and that's it. Like Marcus had his moments, but man, sometimes
Graham
his
Williams had a
IQ,
horrible series.
yeah,
He didn't.
he got snuffed out.
Yeah, he got completely snuffed out.
And Marcus, man, he just for the amount of good he does, like let me say this. Marcus, there's a few plays. So that game 5, okay? Game 5, the Warriors are starting to go on this nasty run in the third quarter. Like we cannot stop the bleeding. All right, but it's kind of a close game. Marcus is guarding Clay. Clay, dribble, drives, and maybe he pushed off a little bit, and then he has a three. Marcus Smart flies across the floor 15 feet to try to get the ref to call foul.
Oh my
And
god, I know.
what's going to happen?
Yeah,
Ref's not going to call the foul. So wide open three, Clay Thompson, even if not shooting well, like at the best as Clay's been in his prime, like he's going to make that wide open shot. He just watered it. And I'm like, why do you do that? Why would you go for such a bad, why are you playing for the call? If you take that and you're still there, at least make it a tough shot. Like, they're not going to call that.
mm-hmm.
So I think just the IQ of the players, and it was just like Jason Tatum's throwing the ball away, like willy nilly. They just like drive, throw it away, drive, throw it away. It's like, this looks like
Yeah.
AU. This looks like high
The
school basketball,
the
man.
turnovers were pretty awful as well. Like
So I
the
think it's everything in coaching, dude. It was
yeah
just everybody was bad all around.
yeah pretty bad way to end the series. When you're up 2-1.
But that
But
that's
yeah
my 2 cents, man. I
yeah
wish they fought harder.
yeah. I wish they played better as well. But continuing on to other NBA stuff. Obviously the Rockets have been very busy. Really busy, really busy.
Banchero.
Yeah. So it looks like that Paul we're gonna draft Paulo, which is exactly who I wanted to draft. But
He's
now,
so
now,
good.
now we've traded away Christian Wood, as happened about 3 or 4 days ago. Now,
And
I
I say it's a good trade. You say it's a bad trade,
yeah,
but
yeah. So I mean, we can talk about this for a bit. I mean, like, I think it's a difficult situation. The more you think about it, is because I think if Christian had a 4 year contract instead of a 3 year contract, like this is his last year of his contract before he hits free agency, I think he would not have been traded because because right now Alp or Alprinson June can't play more than 25 minutes without fouling out basically in an NBA game. So until he can prove that he can play half a game without getting into foul trouble, I get nervous that we now don't have another actual center option. And so that's why I didn't like trading away Cushman, because I feel like that Dallas would have given you the same amount of stuff in the middle of the year compare and it's the same to now, because he's still essentially a rental basically for this year. So
no, but they won that. They wanted that 22nd pick also.
well, okay, yeah, the 26th pick and four
Six or
throw-in players
23.
that won't. That I mean, Boban might stay, but all the other three aren't going to be within the city limits of Houston. So
My
I mean,
thing is
like,
like my thing with Christian Wood is you're probably getting the equivalent of a big man defensively as nobody. Because Christian Wood cannot play defense. He just can't do it, Ian. He can't do it. And yeah, like you're like, well, he's good offensively. Yeah, I understand. He shot great numbers. But dude, if you're a big man and you can't play defense, are you kidding me? You're kidding, right, Ian?
oh
You know
no,
what
his defense
it
wasn't great. And
wasn't
like,
great. It's on the bottom end.
I
It's not,
understand
oh, it
that.
wasn't great. It's horrendous. It's egregious. It's terrible.
But the thing about it is that when the whole team is also crappy defensively, like you can't put
Dude,
that all on one person though. Like Jalen Green right now, like I
I'm
love him,
saying
but he's not a good defender.
on his assignments. Jalen Green's a rookie, number one.
Well, I'm not,
And I'm
and I'm not bashing him for that. I'm just
no,
saying,
I know. I'm just saying you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. That I'm
yeah, okay,
saying
I'm
if
just,
Christian Wood wants to be the man, okay, you want to be the man of a team, fine. But you got to be the man on all aspects. You can't be lacking that badly in that position. And I'm not just saying like on a 5-on-5 basis. On on his assignments, he's not good on his assignments. His opponents have like a well over 50% efficiency. Like he can't play defense. I don't know if he can't move like that, but offensively he can shoot. But maybe
yeah.
if you put him with somebody, but dude, I don't think he was built like that, man. I don't think he and like he'll go to Dallas. We'll see what happens. We'll see what
I
happens.
think you'll do good in Dallas as Luke is there. I can see that, and also another thing is that contract your guys tend to play a lot better. Dallas knows with Jalen Brunson, he played amazing this year and was amazing in the playoffs.
It
So
could backfire, bro. It could
well,
backfire.
it could easily backfire, or he could actually start playing more defense because it's a contract year. I can get 5 years, upwards of
He's got to
150
prove it to
million
me.
dollars. Well,
I don't even think it's.
exactly.
And I don't even think it's something where he's like, oh, okay, now that it's the team I care about. No, he just does not have it, dude. He just does not. He can't convince me yet. I'm sorry. Like, well,
Well,
what if it was this? No, no, he just doesn't have it.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, he also is going to in-state rival, so I don't want him to do well now. But again, I hope Alpi figures it out. Defense. It's not. It's really. I mean, it's on both sides of the ball, really, where he picks up all
Dude,
those
if we get
fouls.
Bancaro, bro, we're gonna be pretty solid in a couple of years. We
Yeah,
get
and
we're gonna get a center.
yeah, and I know
Oh,
Alpi is the center of the future. I never doubted that, but I just thought that he just wasn't ready. Like last year, he to me
not
throughout the
ready,
end of
but
the year.
they're probably looking ahead.
Oh, they know, and they are, and I'm with that as well. But I still get nervous when we have potentially Boban as our backup center. No offense to him, but and our starting center can't play more than 20 minutes because he's already fouled 5 times. And that to me, like that's the problem they have. And
I
the
think
Rockets,
Bancaro, they're gonna try to play this like just play a big lineup.
yeah, they're gonna go mega big. They'll probably put KPJ at the one, Jalen at the two, what Bankero at the three probably, and then Tate at the four, and then Alpi at the five. That is a very big lineup, which I'm okay with because
How tall is
Milwaukee's been
LP?
doing
How
that.
tall is LP?
Alpi is 6'11", I think, 6'10". So pretty. I mean, he's not Brooke Lopez size, but like he's pretty big and long though. Obviously.
Can he guard? Can he guard Jokic?
Oh, I mean, no one can guard
Yeah, I'm
Jokic.
just kidding.
I know. Yeah, but
Yeah,
so and
he's
then
an assignment.
yeah,
Um, okay. Well, my thing about it is like, dude, what the hell? Just got this random ad. That just texted me. What is this? All right. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind the trade. I think it was good for us.
yeah, and fair enough. Have you been keeping up with the KJ Martin stuff on Twitter at all?
The what?
The KJ Martin stuff, where like
Was it what?
he's potentially asking for a trade from the Rockets.
Oh no, I haven't seen any of that.
Yeah,
What's
so
happening?
if anyone doesn't know that it it's not. I don't think it's KJ. It's more of Kenyon Martin. Obviously we all know Kenyon Martin, Hall of Famer, great player with the Nets and Nuggets. But he's now putting his he's now basically the new LeVar Ball of the NBA essentially because he's telling he had a quote today which I just saw before we started the podcast which I thought was to me laughably ridiculous where it said like he wants his son in a winning situation and I'm like okay obviously we all want I mean like I see why you want your son in a winning situation. The problem is your son was a 52nd pick in this in the second round. He was a 52nd pick. He's still on his rookie contract. He is 21 years old right now. Like to me you have zero bargaining power over where he goes or like if he's going to be traded or not. And to me like all this stuff is such a distraction because I like KJ Martin. Like he played really well at the end of the COVID year. He usually plays pretty well when he gets in there. I like him with the nucleus of the team. And he's probably like he'll probably either be starting in 2 years or just the permanent six man playing 25, 30 minutes a night. So I don't see why
I don't know.
Kenyon
Maybe it's true, not true.
yeah, and like I don't see why Kenyon is getting all worked up that he wants his son to win now when he's 20 years old. And I understand like, you know, winning is very difficult in the league and you just, if he's on a winning team it's a lot easier, but
Yeah.
what's the probability that Katie Martin's going to get actual minutes on a let's say like a 4 to 5 seed in any and on any team? I don't see where he get any minutes, so I don't see why Kenny Martin would want him traded if he's just not gonna play. Even if the team's winning 50 plus games, he probably won't play. So to me, like he fits so well with our team, and like he said, Houston's looking like they're probably gonna get another lottery pick this year. Yeah, that's probably true. We're probably gonna win 25 to 30 games here. I do expect a win improvement for the Rockets this year. They need to win at least 27 games this year. At least 27. They need to have a seven game improvement for me to be happy. But they're not gonna make the playoffs this year, and I'm fully prepared for that. But you can't be asking for a trade for your son who is a good young player but is still on a rookie contract and the only reason he's playing is because he got drafted by the Rockets.
Yeah.
So I to me it makes no sense why then he's this thing and the problem is that now he actually might get traded because his dad's talking all the time and as Twitter does, they make mock trades and everything. I've seen some really good ones involving KJ Martin to like Philadelphia or Dallas, actually extending that Christian Wood trade that was originally agreed on because the trade isn't official yet. By the way, it's
Yeah.
official after the draft. So I don't want him to be traded, but if his dad starts to get really annoying, like LeVar Ball was, back when Lonzo joined the league,
Yeah, then you're
then
like, I don't do this anymore.
it's too distracting to the team, and he's gonna have to get traded. And then unfortunately for KJ, that might be I want to say that might be his career, but like, where is he gonna get playing time? Let's say if he goes to Philadelphia, he's not gonna get playing time. If he goes to Dallas, he's not gonna get any playing time. So I just think it's stupid. I really I really dislike that Kate is in this situation at all, but it's been something's been kind of brewing for the last couple months, and now it's kind of come onto its head the last week or so with Kenny Martin just saying all this crap. So hopefully it doesn't hopefully it doesn't get traded. I want him to stay on the team as long as possible because I think he's great for the future. Him and Eric Gordon to me are like the two key cogs off the bench that I want to keep for the at least the next 3 years.
Man,
So
you want to keep Eric?
I do want to
Yeah.
keep Eric because unless we get a first round pick for him, then to me that's no go. Because Eric is good enough to where I talked about this with a couple other people that Eric Gordon's value is weird because he's good enough to be worth a first round pick, but he's not good enough to be good enough to, again for a unprotected first round pick. And I think what Houston wants is an unprotected first round pick for him. But they're not going to get that for Eric Gordon, and you're not going to give up, and you're not going to accept 2 second round picks for him. So to me, at this point, you might as well just keep him because I don't think they're going to get good value back for him in return. And he's still on. I think he still has 2 years left on his deal. So to me, there's no reason to trade him now. Maybe next offseason, but to me, there's no reason to trade him. I mean, you can probably get him for less off next season as well. And
Yeah.
also, I just hate the idea of playing, 8 to 9 20-year-olds per night. You got to have some veterans on the team. You can't just be putting out the old baby lineup every single night. There has to be some balance. I'm not saying it
I
has to be
just,
half and half. Like there
no,
should be
but
more.
you gotta have some veteran leadership.
Right, you have to have some veteran leadership. And if you just have no one on the team that's over, had more than 3 years of experience in the league, then you have no veteran guidance at all. To me, that's where Eric is shines, and he played pretty well last year when he played.
Yeah.
Obviously, a little bit limited because we started tanking at the end of the year. But when he played relatively well in my opinion. And yeah, he's worth $20 million. But to me, his value has not changed at all in the last year plus. So if you haven't got something for him now, probably not going to get anything for him later. So to me, you might as well just keep him, see if you can re-sign him. But obviously huge Eric Gordon side note. But I mean, him and KJ are gonna be 6 and 7, or KJ will be starting in a year's time. So again, I don't like this whole KJ Martin situation. But I am excited that we're probably gonna get Paulo
I
tomorrow. Oh my
really
God,
hope we do get him.
the draft is tomorrow. By the way,
I thought it was Thursday.
I think it's the 22nd, so which is
I thought
tomorrow.
it's Thursday, bro.
Oh, it's a Thursday. Okay, Wednesday or Thursday. Excuse me.
Let's see. Let's
Getting
see.
getting getting my dates mixed up, but it looks like Jabari Smith's gonna be number one, from what I've heard. Chet Holmgren at number two for OKC, and then we got Paulo at
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, it's on Thursday. Thank you.
That's not in.
Yeah, and so I'm excited that we're getting Paulo. He's the guy that I wanted. To me that's why I thought the Rockets hopefully got the second pick, was that they'd have a worse a choice between Jabari or Paulo. But the third pick, but it looks like everything's lining up for it to be Jabari, Chet, and then Paulo, which I think is perfect for every team because I think Paulo wants to be here and Jabari doesn't want to be here and we don't want Chet Holmgren. So and then it kind of
Yeah,
goes the other way around.
I do
Right.
not want the whole thing.
Yeah, so really glad that that's worked out in the way it has. But yeah, any thoughts on the draft? I honestly, it's so hard to keep up with so many players, from college and overseas that like really after pick like 25, I kind of lose track on who's potentially getting drafted or not. So, um, yeah, we'll see. Also where Jaden Ivey goes. Jaden Ivey's really good, obviously, as we saw in the tournament and all last year. I don't know where he's gonna go because I don't think he's gonna go to Sacramento either because the things he said I don't know if you saw it, quote Sacramento wouldn't be the worst place to get drafted. Like it's like, I mean, so obviously he's not gonna be in Sacramento, but he's definitely a top 4 to 5 talent in the draft. So I'll be interested to see where he goes. But yeah, I'm really excited for the draft.
Yeah, I really do. Like if we get Bankero, man, I think we have a really bright future.
Yeah, and then if we get Holgram, to me, it's gonna be unbelievably awkward. And I just don't see how we could fit Holgram in there.
It
If you
wouldn't
want,
work, man.
yeah, it won't. To me, it just won't work. Like, you want Alp to be the 5, and Holgram cannot play the 4 in the NBA. There's no way he can. To me, he's just too tall for the position. Like I just think like he just get completely destroyed by power forwards. But I think it's either Paulo or bust at this point for the Rockets. So you know, hopefully we get him another Dookie. That'd be really nice. But
Really awesome.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, let's go to the draft. Do you have anything else you want to add?
no, I think I'm good for the draft. Honestly, pretty good.
So you
Um,
want to talk about kind of close it up with your zombie stuff?
Yeah, so a lot of stuff's happening this week, guys. Obviously, we talked, I think this is the third or fourth time we talked about it on the podcast about Zombies for Charity, but the
Yeah.
event is happening this weekend. So, it's happening Saturday, June the 25th. Is that when Saturday is? I'm pretty sure that that's when Saturday is. June the 25th. Yep, June the 25th. Starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, New Central.
Yeah.
Um, it's, gonna be a really good event. I'm really excited. We're actually, me and my team are gonna be practicing later tonight for the event. It's funny that we've we've asked around on how many. So there's 6 teams in the event, right? So we've asked around how. Well, one of my friends on the team asked how other teams, like, how they've been practicing. Apparently, like, no one else is like really practiced except us. Like, I talked to one of my other friends, like, oh yeah, we haven't practiced in like a month for the event. So I'm like, okay. So
So you got yeah.
yeah, so we like I'm with the amount of time we've actually put in a lot of time. I think tonight will be our seventh or eighth practice. I want to say, um, I think it's been the seventh or eighth practice for sure. Um, and we've done really good in all the stuff that we practiced so far. So to be honest, we better win this event because we've been putting so much into it. And everyone's like, I was telling one of my other friends, like, oh, you're putting too much effort into a charity. I'm like, bro, I want to win. Like I'm such a competitor that, like, even though it's for a charity event, and like if we lose, if we don't get first, I'm not gonna be like, oh, mad. But like I'm gonna put my all in on actually winning the event because I think it'd be really cool to win a Zombies for Charity.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that'd be really good. And then also another map is coming, or the first round based map for Call of Duty Vanguard is coming out. And I know that, have you played Call of Duty Vanguard at all?
No, I don't. I haven't at all actually.
Yeah, and thank God you haven't. Thank God that has not infected your Xbox or anything.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not getting Vanguard.
Yeah, because now that they're re-releasing Shino Numa, the, as I said, the fan favorite World of War map, which was, to be honest, I honestly have never really I've never heard anyone call Shino Numa their favorite map or it be a fan favorite. I mean, it's not like it was a bad map back in the day, but I never thought it was something crazy. So they had a bit of it in Duran Fong, the first Vanguard map, which is of course a horrible map, probably the worst ever. And then they released like a round based version of it in that little hut area, and now they're now re-releasing the map in Vanguard. They're okay, this is how I want to say it. They're re-releasing the map in Vanguard, but it's a re-release or reimagining from previous iterations of it. That's complete mind fuck with how I'm trying to say it, but like it makes to me it's completely ridiculous that now, like, the thing about, like, the thing about Vanguard is Vanguard Zombies, it should not have been made. It should not have been made. We had Black Ops 4 in 2018, excuse me, or was it 2018, which was a Treyarch game. We had Cold War Zombies in 2020, and now we have Treyarch again working on more zombies in 2021. It, to me, like, I've been talking about this with a lot of people because everyone has so many opinions on freaking Shino Numa being remastered for, I think like the 20,000th time. It feels like it. So like I'll tell you right now how many iterations there were. There was the original World at War Shino Numa. There was a remaster for Black Ops 1, and then there was a part of it in Revelations and or no, I think just the Flogger was in BO3. So a part of Shino Numa. So we have now 3 iterations. Then we had the remaster in BO3. We have 4 iterations, and then we had the They're on Fong stuff, which was 5. And now we have, so basically we have essentially, this is the, if you really want to be technical, it's the fifth or sixth iteration of this map in the last 14 years. And to me, it's just basically milking a cow that's already dry. I mean, it's ridiculous how
Oh,
we've
man.
now had 1,000 versions of Not Your Tome, the first zombies map. We have so many reimaginings and reiterations of these maps that, to me, it's just so disgusting that we're now basically being marketed that there's this new map coming out that's the same map that we've had before, but it has a new Easter egg in it, so it's new. To me, like, all of this is just silly. Like, it just feels like it's a cut, like a BO Black Ops 3 custom map that a fan made. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that like that's the all iteration of the talent at Treyarch. I'm just saying that they don't have any time to make new maps, and like these remasters are just not good. They just haven't been really that good in my opinion. And I I'm just confused as to the direction of what they want to do for the future, because it feels like that everything we get now in zombies is either some pawned off campaign mission or a reimagining of an old map. Like Cold War, D Machine was another notch iteration. Firebase C was a campaign mission. Outbreak was basically just putting multiplayer maps into zombies. Malware was the only good map that was a reiteration of a campaign. Forsaken was a copy and paste of a campaign. Jiran Fong was a copy and paste of the campaign and multiplayer. And I think the newest one, Terra Maldicta, that I have not played and I will never play, to be honest, because I've seen gameplay and it's horrendous, is actually it's actually a new location, but the map's not good. So I don't know. I don't know their plan for the future of zombies. They said there's another map coming out for Vanguard. I don't know when they're gonna release that. It's already June right now. The next game comes out in October, and I guarantee you, Activision does not give two shits about Van. They've said they don't care about Vanguard anymore. Like it's so obvious that
Yeah, yeah.
they don't care about, like, all you've seen it. All their marketing is Modern Warfare 2 right now.
Oh,
And
of
like,
course.
yeah, like, and Modern Warfare 2 is gonna sell great. I don't think this game's gonna be that good just because I don't like Infinity War games. But I don't I just don't know what
The
trailer.
original Modern Warfare 2?
Well, so you know, like how Modern Warfare 19 was like a reboot of the series, right? It's just basically the second. It's the second game of the Modern Warfare 219. It's basically the sequel to Modern Warfare
Yeah, I'm
19.
saying the original one a long time ago.
Yeah, they're not re-releasing that.
No, I'm saying, did you like that one?
Oh, did you like that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Oh, yeah, that game was amazing.
Yeah, that game is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
But who made that one?
what?
Who made that game?
It was
Treyarch?
Infinity Ward who made that game.
So why do you have such little faith?
Because it's a the thing is that it's a completely different regime now. The people who
Okay.
made Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009 are not there anymore. So,
Yeah,
and
because they underpay developers, but that's
well, they've all either left or, probably in the big massive lawsuit that Activision had or whatever. Basically,
you
they're
don't
all
Activision doesn't pay their developers well, bro. So if you don't have developers and you go to Rockstar and they give you money, bro.
that, yeah, like that's also another thing. And so I mean, Modern Warfare 2 was my first ever Call of Duty game. That's the first one I ever played back in the day. I was
Yeah.
horrible that I got completely crushed when I played MP, but I still had a lot of fun. But I mean, these new iterations of Modern Warfare are just, to me, not very good. The first, oh my god, I think I've said this before on stream, but I can't tell you how annoyed I was my first playthrough of Modern Warfare 19 when the alpha came out. Man, when it was that bad. When the alpha came out in 2019, I was actually thinking this game was gonna be really good because the alpha was like the gunfight mode, like the 2v2 mode or whatever, and that was a lot of fun. So I was like, oh shit, this game's gonna be really cool. I can't wait. And then the beta comes. I can't tell you how much I hated the game off the beta, because like I was like, the guns feel bad, the maps are horrible, everything feels clunky, and
Yeah.
then I was like, hey, maybe they'll improve for the game, we'll see. But it's like the She-Hulk CGI. It's not gonna improve that quick. So like when the game comes, I play it and I'm like, this game is so bad. Like, there's this one map. It was called Azir Cave. Oh my god, I have nightmares of that map because it's like basically how the map is that you have a whole half of the map that's underground. So any of your kill streaks or score streaks just don't work in that side of the map, because you put down a missile strike, well, it's gonna hit like the top of like a 45-foot rock. That's not gonna hit the person under it. And the map was just these waving interlining paths and then that map is like basically like the microcosm how much I hated that game so much, because God, that map was horrible. I did not like it. To me, it seems like it's gonna be the same thing. Like, again, like it's gonna be like kind of like how MW19 was. So I can't see how I'm gonna be excited for a game that's gonna play like exactly like the game that I hated the most. That I think is the worst Call of Duty to ever be made, other than probably
Yeah.
maybe Vanguard, maybe, but like even Vanguard's multiplayer is okay. Like, but I'm just not excited for MW2. Um,
But we are excited for Ian the 25th, the
the
charity event.
yes, we are excited for June 25th. We are excited for that because we're gonna play some zombies, not Vanguard zombies. Thank God. Cold War, well, just playing Cold War zombies. I'm okay with that because the Cold War is not horrible compared to Vanguard, so I'll take that. But yeah, I'm really excited for the 25th. This is my second big charity event. I did another one a couple months ago. Had a really good time with it. But this one's like very well. That one was more like an overall arching um, charity event. This one's really just zombies focus. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm gonna be really competitive. I'll be streaming, but I will not be reading chat. I'll be so line focused on the game because again, like we've done so much practice, and um, I expect us to win the event, and I really lucked out with my team because I told you that I didn't want to discuss this on the podcast because it was so bad. My captain's challenges I could not have done worse on. I played
Oh,
so bad. Did I tell you how bad I played?
yeah, you did.
Remember, like yeah, I got fourth in the first one.
Yeah, because you didn't want to say it on the podcast.
Yeah, well, that's how. Yeah, like I got fourth in the first captain's challenge. I got sixth in the next one because I got my ass completely handed to on rainy death. I got last. I got clapped. Yeah, I got clapped because basically like they released the challenges and they're all custom maps. So yeah, I'm basically had to learn a new map from the ground up. The problem is that when they gave us enough time to do it, the problem was that it just worked so horribly my schedule because when they released it, I was in traveling back from Houston to DC, and then I
Yeah.
only had 3 days in Houston to practice, and then
Wow, that's bad.
I had to go to Dallas for my sister's birthday, and then I literally had to get a flight back that morning to make the captain's event. So I basically had no time with the maps essentially. And then when the event comes, I did as best I could, but of course, I barely played the maps. And then the last challenge I got six on because of like just kind of a bad officiating that everyone agreed on. That last challenge was kind of goofy. But either way, I have really left out with my team. I have KXG, Insane Gamer, and Gamey. They changed one of the challenges to be Dead Ops Arcade, which is like an arcade version of zombies. And KXG is easily the best DOA player in the pool. And I drafted him without knowing that, and I've completely lucked into it. So now I have this complete expert for one of the challenges. So I'm like, yes, lead the way, good sir, lead the way for all of us. Yeah,
Great.
because it was originally an outbreak challenge, and then everyone was basically saying outbreak sucks. So it was really me saying it because I run a lot of outbreak, and I was like, you can basically lose like if you get bad RNG, like good, and the Easter egg speedrun for outbreak, good to bad RNG is like a 10+ minute interval of like comparison. It's so bad like that you just can't win if you get bad RNG. Like you can't skill it out basically. You're just completely capped by the game. So they took that out and they put DOA in, and God, I can't tell you how lucky I am that I've got KXG on my team, and the Insane Gamer and Gaming have been great as well. Really been catching on with all the because I've been really leading the charge for a lot of stuff because like I do Easter egg speed runs obviously as you know. I
Yeah.
did a lot of Cold War stuff, so like I'm more of the leader when it comes to doing all that stuff, which I'm fine with obviously, but yeah, they've been really good. It's just been awesome to play with them, and like it's just kind of nice to go like playing a speed run. Honestly, sometimes without the expectation of getting record, is kind of fun because then it's like I'm building something from the ground up with this team, right? In terms of like, we got our first personal best and our second, then our third, and like you can see guys getting better, but then also in the back of my mind, it's like the expectation of it's easier to run when it's like we don't have to reset for the little things, and because when you're trying to get a record for some maps, you do have to reset for some stuff, but like not having to reset for some things, it's been honestly like the more I think about it, kind of nice. I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine. We mess it up. We'll probably lose like 45 seconds or whatever, but that's okay. Like it's not a huge deal, and like I can play with like I can just more or less play the map essentially. And so it's kind of good, like kind of like it's like more of like a casual speedrun, I'd say, that like we've been kind of practicing just because like obviously we're not going for record, we're just trying to get a time for a time for a
Yeah.
35-minute interval for an event essentially. So, but yeah, I've had a lot of fun so far. Can't wait for that. I can certainly wait for Shino Numa because I'll probably play it, but I don't see myself playing it more than the one time I'll play it for the Easter egg, because these new Easter eggs basically are just like quote machines where they just the characters are just saying 10,000 words, and then you click your interact bind 3 times and it's done. So I can't say I'm extremely excited for that. But I know I've been talking a lot, obviously, because zombies is really my
Yeah, yeah.
thing, but which is okay. But do you want to add anything, man? Because I've said everything that I've had.
Yeah, me
Um,
too, man.
yeah. You're all good. Kenobi tomorrow night. I can't wait. I'm so excited. You need to get your mom to get more of that pizza, because I'll definitely be eating one of the guys. Oh my god! Before we leave, there is this pizza that Neima and his brother have at their house. It's like this like frozen pizza you put in the oven.
It's good, isn't it?
It's so fucking good. I can't tell you.
Good.
Didn't I think I ate the entire pizza when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
came. I'm
Like,
like,
you want the last piece? And I'm like, dude, you want it, just eat it.
bro, it's so. I literally, I had dinner beforehand, and then your mom's like, "Hey, you want me to make a pizza?" I'm like, "Yes, yeah, yes. I would like you to make one of those pizzas,
Ate the
please."
whole thing. It was so funny.
Yeah. God, this I can't.
Kenobi tomorrow, man.
Kenobi tomorrow, man. I can't wait. NBA draft on Thursday.
There's
Z for C on Saturday. Gonna be a busy week, man. But yeah, that's all I have for you. And again, Nima, you're all good, man. Already the pieces, the thumbs ups. We're all good.
peace sign, guys.
Yeah,
It's
but
almost, you know?
yeah, we'll see you guys on episode 8. Again, you guys can catch me on the streams, join the Discord. Definitely show up for Z for C, and please donate for that, for a suicide prevention hotline. That's really huge, especially in communities. I said last time with Kingman and all that stuff. That'd be really great. But guys, thank you so much for coming out. Thanks for watching the pod or listening to it. I'll see you guys in episode 8. See y'all there. Peace out.